What's going on, Ishe? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. Now, looking back on your last fight with Fernando Guerrero, one thing that I noticed was when this fight was fought from the outside, I thought Guerrero appeared to be more effective, but on the inside, I thought that you were more effective. Was that your game plan going into this fight? Did you want to try and smother him and get close to him so you could break him down with the body shots?
That was the game plan there, to get to the body, and that's going to be the game plan in all the fights. Is I was a damn good body puncher early in my career, and I think I got away from that, and Eddie Mustafa got me back to doing that. The first round was fought from the outside, and I thought maybe the first 3 rounds I maybe took 2 of those rounds, and then I gave him the control from 4 to 6. I think 7 iffy. I scored it for me, but if somebody scores for him, but I think 8 through 10, I did a very good job. Of closing the show. I dropped him in the 8th. Beat him pretty well in the 9th, and I thought I closed the show in the 10th. I mean, to get the scorecards and saw that Lewis Henry gave the guy the first 7 rounds. That's very discouraging, man. As a fighter, you go in there and you give it your all, you lay it on the line, like you guys just said, the long camp and everything in the downtime, and to have an incompetent judge score a fight like that, man, it's very disappointing. But the best part about it is that it wasn't off TV. The fans got to judge for themselves, and I'm able to hold my head high after that one. I just don't see how a guy could, score a fight like that, especially a good fight like that. Guerrero's a terrific young man, a terrific guy, type of guy sports need, and to have, that incompetent judge score a fight like that is just unbelievable.
Yeah. I gave you the last 3 rounds as well. I think most everyone had to. You clearly won those last 3 rounds, no question. Throughout the fight, the referee was constantly warning you to keep him up, keep him up. How much of an effect did that have on you during the fight?
I think in those middle rounds, it definitely played. I was scared. He didn't take a point, I think, to the 6th, but it was always in the back of my mind that this guy's going to take a point anytime. But, I kept going to the body, but, it was always, and I kind of got away from my game plan. I gave him the momentum, because I thought I had momentum the first 3 rounds, and I gave him the momentum. And he's a young, fiery guy, so he took it. He threw a lot of punches, and I was able to land some, but just not as much as the first 3 rounds. But, yeah, it definitely played a part. But the thing about that is Phillips was more involved in the fight than he should have. It was a terrific fight, and, you got to let guys fight. You have to establish what a borderline is, especially when a guy's trunks is high. A lot of those shots hit him right on the waistband, and so what is the definition of a low blow here? Is it the waistband or is it the hip? Are you going to set, when the trunks are high, you got to set that boundary. The next fight I'll just make some trunks that come up to my neck, and if Randy Phillips is reffing, he'll call all low blows from the neck down. I mean, you have to set some type of boundary there. Yeah, true, some of them went low. Some of Guerrero's went low. I'm not going to deny that, but you have to set some limit. The thing about the point, maybe it was warranted. The thing I didn't like about the point is that it was after he stopped the fight to talk to Brian Young. That's what was irritating about the point, because it's like, okay, you stopped a fight, a good fight, in the middle of a round to address the guy's promoter, and then a minute later you take a point. I mean, that's like, and these things overshadow what a really good fight me and the young man put forth.
Now, you have a very good resume in boxing. You've been in there with some good fighters like Danny Jacobs, Saku Powell, Yoel Julio. Based on your last performance, do you think that managers and promoters will be a little reluctant now to put their up-and-coming fighters in there with you?
Yeah, I think definitely the last 2 performances. I feel like I'm getting better, man, at 32. I've had a lot of stretches where I wasn't able to get fights or layoffs, and so I have some pretty good defense. I haven't taken a lot of punishment, and I feel like now it's all coming together, and I definitely think the Danny Jacobs performance was the start of that, and I realized I made some mistakes as far as not listening in the corner. And we went to the drawing board, and we trained really hard. And I told people this was going to be my best performance. And, the more I watch it, the more I just don't see I see why so many people are on Facebook and, Twitter saying I won, because I just don't see how you can score that fight with him. For the worst, it's a draw. And like I said, I'm not going to be biased. He definitely won 4 through 6. And if you want to give him 7, that's fine. But, 1, in those first 3 rounds, you got to give me 2 of those at least, and you got to give me the last 3. And, I just don't know how somebody could score that fight 97-91. That's very discouraging. But like I said, the fans got to see, and, it keeps my head high, and hopefully I can get, Angulo, or, some of these guys aren't dance partners. Somebody's going to get left out of the mix here, and, maybe they'll be willing to step up, especially after my last 2 showings. I mean, that last fight was a hell of a fight.
Yes, it was. Now, you talked about how this was one of your better training camps because you started training for this fight earlier than usual, and as a result, you had a longer camp with some real quality sparring. Is this something that you're going to continue doing now, having these longer, more rigorous training camps in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I got the chance to spar Floyd and Zab and Chad the last camp, and Chad was, me and him was such good work. We banged so much, he was like, man, I was like, I'll help you when I get back after this fight, So I got back in town Saturday, and I was sparring Chad Tuesday. I tell my coach, man, I'm ready to fight. I'm in the fight business. This is what it is, man. And, a lot of that came from working with Mayweather, and just seeing how hard he works and trains, and it rejuvenated me because I was at a point where I was upset with the sport, just not being able to get the fights. I was so disgusted when Kasim Muma had accepted the fight, and I was waiting on the contract to be faxed over, emailed over, and then a week later he pulls out of the fight to fight Keith Holmes, a fight that didn't happen. So I was really just sick of the sport. And then when I got the call to have the opportunity to go spar Floyd, it kind of put everything in perspective because I had already sparred De La Hoya, Shane, I had sparred everybody. So it was like, okay, I'm all right, let's just add him to the list too. But I didn't know I was going to see how this guy is a beast in the gym, and he's so dedicated to his craft and how hard he trains. He believes he's the best, but the difference between him and most athletes is it separates him and puts him on the Jordan and Kobe Bryant and those guys type, because to be the best, you have to train like the best, and he definitely puts that work in, man. I've never seen nobody train like him, and coming off that camp, it's just, that's when I got this fight, man. I had always told myself camp that I was going to start turning it up and rededicate myself to the sport, and that's what I did. And it's unfortunate that, I put all my heart and soul and worked so hard, and, if I had them judges take it like that, was it hurt. The fans have kept my spirits, high, and, I've prayed about it, and I'm in high spirits, but I'm not going to lie, man, after doing all that and knowing that, I laid it on the line and I feel like I won, it definitely hurt, man.
I've heard that you've been talking about moving back down to 154. Looking at your last 2 performances at middleweight, you've more than held your own. Why are you considering going back down to junior middleweight?
Because, I think I don't want people to get this mixed notion that this is my weight and that I'm some type of test at 60. Only reason I went up there is because of the opportunities. Guys at 54 didn't want to fight me for whatever reason. It was hard for me to get fights. So I feel that if I can hit these guys with the same punches I'm hitting, Danny Jacobs, I had him very hurt in our fight. Fernando Guerrero, I'll put him down. I feel like if I can hit some of the guys that's my natural weight, that I'll be able to knock them out or severely beat them. With the week before the fight, I weighed 157 pounds. It's just not my weight. It's only the fighter and warrior in me that says, you know what, I can go up to 60. I believe I can go up to 68 and fight well. That's how well I believe in my chin and my abilities. But it's only my warrior. But really and truly, I should be at 54 and fighting there. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully I'll be able to get a big fight there.
So who's next on the Ishe Smith hit list, man? Who are you looking to mix it up with?
Oh, man, anybody. Anybody. I love to fight Lattimore, who's just coming off a victory. I love to fight Angulo. Anyone at that weight will be a great. Chavez Jr., it's another name. He has like 40-some-odd fights. Anyone at that weight willing to step up. The problem is are these guys willing to step up to the plate? Because all these guys, Vanes are willing to fight him. All these guys are waiting on big fights. problem is, like I said, is now these guys with undefeated records want to protect their records so bad that they're not willing to really fight a lot of people. And hopefully that these guys, the guys that get left out of the mix, I'll be willing to step up to the plate and say, you know what, I want to fight them, and we'll put together a terrific fight.
All right, Ishe, man, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of the day and talking with me. I'm going to go ahead and pass you on to Joshua Jernigan. I want to wish you the best in the future, and that was a great fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again, man.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.